We are excited to provide this training opportunity for staff parish relation committees to be able to walk through the process of how to complete the clergy assessment process. These instructions are geared for staff parish relation committees as they consider the assessment of their clergy persons, as they look to provide comments and also narrative to support the ratings of their clergy person, but also what are some helpful insights that will help to expand the clergy person's fruitfulness in their local context, but also help them as they strive together with the congregation of accomplishing the mission of making disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. And so in this example, we will give an SPRC's way of going through the assessment process as a committee. I hope that these instructions are helpful, and I pray that as you as a committee would meet together and discern how best to provide feedback for your clergy person. This process is not for condemnation, but for conversation and for further fruitfulness. So let us begin. To log on as an SPRC committee, you would log on as SPRC and the GCFA number for your local congregation. Your GCFA number can be found in your church office, or your church administrator would have that information. The information provided in this training video is simply for illustration purposes only, and only for illustration purposes. So for this particular congregation, I would log on as SPRC. I will put in their GCFA number and I would click sign in. As I sign in as an SPRC committee, I would be able to see each and every person appointed to our particular charge and the assessments that need to be taken for both ourselves and also the clergy person. And so for this particular instance, it is for Reverend Alvin Roy McFadden. And so we would select this. It creates another dashboard. And this, you would go down to discover. There are three components of this: discovering discipleship fruitfulness, developing congregational fruitfulness, and deploying missional fruitfulness. And so to begin, the hope is that you as a staff parish relations committee have met in advance and discussed some of these categories so that you are faithful in your assessment and also helpful in your comments. And so you would go down and you would rate your clergy person in the various components. The first one is spiritual health. Does the clergy person pray, fast, reads, and meditates on scriptures? Now, part of this first tab, it may be difficult to give an assessment of these particular things. Again, remember, this is not for condemnation, but for conversation. And if you as a committee feel that you do not have enough information to assess your clergy person in certain areas, that is why we have conveniently put in an NA. And in the NA, it says we have a comment: we are unable to rate due to lack of information. Part of this assessment tool requires that with whichever rating that you put on a category, it must have an accompanying narrative. The narratives are very important for your clergy person to learn and grow, but it's also an opportunity for you to affirm where the places you see fruitfulness, and also to provide feedback for the areas which you feel that would help your clergy person expand their fruitfulness. And so you as a committee would continue to go emotional and mental health. And you would put a rating of a 3. Talks about their relationship, their attending counseling. And we continue to do that for each and every component in this particular category. I would also add that if there is ever a time that you need to save for later, there is a save button. So let us continue going. Professional help. We put a 5 because pastor is connected to the conference, district, by serving physical health, unable to rate. Relational health. And so we would continue. We have to make sure that each component has a rating and a corresponding comment. And so we can continue. Continues to the next, developing congregational fruitfulness. And we would go through the same process of rating our clergy person, pastoral care, preaching and teaching, manages self and others. And while these are just for illustrative purposes, this particular box does not have a text limitation. And so you are able to write as much as you would like that would be helpful. Spell check is always good. And so once you get to the bottom of that, you would validate and continue, or you would save for later. Validate and continue takes us to the third tab, which is deploying missional fruitfulness. And we would go through the same exercise that we've done before. And so we have completed all 3 categories and we validate to continue. As we get to the last tab, it essentially is a summary of all that you have put within the system with the rating and also the necessary comments. And so you would go through it to make sure that you have placed all that you feel that would be helpful for conversation with your pastor in this assessment. And once you have completed everything, you would push complete. I may also add that you are unable to push complete unless all ratings and comments are in each category. If there was a rating or something missing and you tried to push complete, you would get a pop-up window that would tell you which exact rating and comment was missing. And so for this one, as an SPRC committee, we feel confident in what we've stated, and so we press complete. And this is complete. It shows completed, and if you were to click here, it provides you as a committee a PDF of everything that you have put in here as far as your ratings. You can keep this for your records and for further conversation. The hope is that this will help through the process of the year as you meet as a committee to help with your pastor. This will provide a time of conversation and also provide opportunities to discuss resources to better help your clergy person. And if there are any questions or varying concerns, this is an opportunity to talk about them. We feel that this process is fairly simple, very intuitive as far as the system is concerned. And it should not take any more than 30 to 45 minutes to complete online, but the work of conversation is a lifelong and a year-long process that would continue to happen between the SPRC committee and the clergy person. Should you have comments or concerns or questions, your district assistant will be able to help you, or calling leadership development at the conference center to provide further insights. We thank you for your commitment to fruitfulness and look forward to hearing and receiving this information.